I am on a roll. I totally thought I would only answer a few of these, and I'm ending up answering all of these. Dear Matthew, my boyfriend is my everything, but he hates most contents of YouTube videos. I have a really big problem with that. I've showed him several videos, but he always says, I think it's too set up and showy. I don't get who wants to see that. What's the fun of that? Annoying voice, fake, not entertaining. He has no sense of humor. I nearly killed him when I showed him one of your videos and he didn't like you either. You mean me. He must like you. So what would you do? Signed, Jalita. Well, Jalita, I do believe that not everybody has to like everybody out there. I know that I'm liked, loved, and hated all around the world, and that's okay with me. I don't need everybody's permission or acceptance to make it through the day. In fact, it kind of helps when I don't have people's acceptance because it makes me take the high road and be like, oh, whatever. I don't need that life. I don't need that in my life. I don't need that negativity. So if he doesn't like me, that's okay. At least he's getting a shout out now. Hey, Jalita's boyfriend, why don't you like me? I can see where I'm a little annoying. I tend to ramble. I wear makeup and I'm a guy. I do my hair. I sometimes wear loud colors and I sweat profusely. I'm not going to show you that, but just know that I am. To each their own. If he doesn't have a sense of humor like you do, then that's just something about him that you're going to have to deal with. And it's something that you're going to see on a regular basis. I say when you're going into a relationship, don't try too hard to change the people. Like them for who they are. There are going to be things that you can't contend with, and there are going to be some things that you let slide. If this is something you can't contend with him, well then talk to him seriously about it and be like, look, it really bothers me that you don't enjoy a lot of the similar things that I do. But what you'll realize is that you were raised differently, you're different in general anyway, and you're just going to have to accept the fact that he doesn't like me. But it wouldn't bother me. Like I said, I have enough friends to carry on. I think I'll be okay without another hetero in my life causing me drama. Let's see. Dear Matthew, I'm so into this guy. He seems to be straight, but he is just so nice with me. He hugs me and acts silly with me, even though he still speaks about girls. This is messed up. Should I send him to hit the road, or should I wait to see if something happens? Signed, Maximu83, or Maximo. Ugh, I don't know how to read half these names. Let me just go ahead and tell you, as a gay man, it is dangerous to fall for straight guys. And I've done it many times. And after one of the biggest falling outs that I've ever had in my life with a straight guy, because I was in love with him, but clearly he didn't love me back, I said that it would never happen again. But then I started to like this other friend of mine. And then we had a falling out and we don't talk anymore. And it's really kind of depressing, actually. I would say, know your standards and know your boundaries. It is easy to fall in lust or love with someone who is totally wrong for you. It happens all the time. And sexuality, honestly, is a big part of our lives. Because as a gay man, I'm not going to date women. And I'm probably not going to date a straight man because I'm out there and I'm about, and I don't want to be with somebody who's straight or wants to project this image that he's straight. I do like straight acting guys, personally. I don't like a guy that's all princessy like me with a tiara and everything. But I like people to be who they are. Either he's truly straight and he's just comfortable with you and gay people in general, or maybe he needs some time to think about his own sexuality. Maybe he's just not ready to come out if he is indeed bi or gay. I would say if you like him for who he is, and keep it at a friend level. It's really hard sometimes. Sometimes you've got to pull back. If you text him, try not texting him as much. If you call him every day, try not calling him every day. That's the problem I get myself into sometimes. If I really like someone, I like to talk to them on a regular basis. I don't like to be clingy because I don't like clingy, but I like to let them know that I'm thinking about them. And sometimes you can push this boundary a little too far. So just make sure that you remember he, as of right now, is straight and he just likes you for who you are. He still talks about girls, that's his thing, but you can always show him what's so great about you by wearing nice colognes, doing your hair all pretty, and just opening up to him. But be yourself throughout this whole process. Don't change for who he is or who you want him to be to you. Just be who you are and let nature take its course. And hopefully in the end you'll still be great friends, because it would be better to be friends than not even speaking at all. I speak from personal experience. I would love to speak to both of these guys on a more regular basis, but sometimes things just happen. Okay. I don't know if this is a question, but can you dance to Christina's song Not Myself tonight? Let me tell you why Enchantress Alyssa, excuse me, Enchantress Alyssa, that's hard to say. I would love to dance to that, but if you saw one of my previous vlogs, I knocked over my PlayStation 3 doing that, so I don't think I'll be doing that anytime in this vicinity, anytime soon. Dear Matthew, I was ready to ask you personal questions, so I hope you answer, but if it's too much, it's okay. I already read this one, so I know it's okay. Sorry, a little thirsty. Just because you had a great relationship with your grandfather, and so does my son. They will be separated this summer when he goes to college, and I wanted to ask for your advice. I want to make sure he remains close to my dad, but I also want him to enjoy this new stage in his life without feeling guilty for not being there. My father is 82, and that's the only father he knows. Thanks, hun. Patricia. Hey, Patricia. It is really hard to be separated from someone who has a prominent role in your life. And the reason I picked to be in the college in my hometown was so that I could be closer to my grandfather. And I'm really glad that I did that, because I was able to go home and actually live there for a majority of my college career. And looking back, I don't regret that at all. I moved at the right pace that was for me. But my relationship with my grandfather is very different, because I didn't have my parents growing up. My father died when I was 4. My grandmother and mother died when I was 9. I had a brother, but I only saw pictures of him because he passed away before I was born. So my grandfather was the only true parent that I really grew up with and have a lot of fond memories with. Luckily, your son still has you. And while your father is getting on with his years, a telephone call or even writing, I think the thing I loved about my grandfather the most was that he consistently wrote and he consistently read. Both of those kept his mind sharp and intact. I don't know how your father is right now, but I would suggest to your son to write to your grandfather. And later on down the road, it might be nice to have those letters back in his possession at some point. I know whenever I see my grandfather's handwriting, it takes me back to a memory of him. I just remember his sandpaper hands and the way he would hold his pen and the way he would write my name and misspell it half the time. So I would just say stay in contact, even if it's not physical interaction. Contact is the key. Communicating with people, you would think that I'd have that down pat, is great in any form. Okay. Dear Matthew, it's your homegirl Tom Pink from Twitter. Hey, Tom Pink. So there's this boy who I was talking to for a year, and he's straight, but really, we all know he's gay. He knows I like him and we flirt a lot back and forth, but he never admits his feelings for me. In the past 2 weeks, I met someone else, and now that he notices I'm talking to someone, he seems to be talking to me a lot more and making remarks about my current guy. Do you think he's jealous and actually likes me? That's a strong possibility. This is very similar to the other question that I answered, but there's a different angle to it. I think that sometimes, even if someone isn't physically attracted to you, there is a jealousy that comes out when you're spending more time with a new friend, a new boo, a coworker, something of that nature. It happens to all of us. Sometimes we have really, really close friends that we're hanging out with all the time, and then we start hanging out with a new crowd. I know that was certainly the case when I moved here. So I would just ask him point blank, is there something that you're not telling me that I should know about? What is it about my new boyfriend that you don't like? And then, knowing me, I would joke around and be like, well, it's kind of funny how now that I have a boyfriend, you're making all these comments. You should have just told me you were in love with me. I would have said yes. Just to kind of let him know in a playful way, you know, I was interested in you too. Get on the ball. Okay, last question. Dear Matthew, will I ever see you after I move? Your Boo Bear, Chris. Oh, Chrissy. Yes, of course you will see me after you move. In fact, I hope that I'm able to come visit you wherever you are, and if not, you can always watch me on YouTube since I'm doing this again. But As long as you Facebook me regularly and text me every now and again, I think we'll be cool. Okay, so that's the last of all these questions. Thank you guys for submitting them. Make good choices. Bye, girl, bye, and have a wonderful day.